Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining today. My name's Naira and today I've got a sequence for you, a prenatal yoga sequence for strengthening and lengthening the pelvic floor. So let's get started in a position that will help us actually isolate and engage and relax those muscles. So for that, we'll be using a block, which you'll place against the wall like so, and then also place a bolster along the width of your mat. Come to the side of the bolster and sit on it and then lean against the wall. So you've really got your hips connected to the wall. I'm just going to detach my mic so that I don't squash it as I lie down. And what you need to do then is slowly and carefully lower yourself down onto your elbows first. And as you're doing that, just make sure that you shuffle your buttocks towards the wall every time that you move. Slowly and carefully lower yourself onto your back. And then we're going to put the legs up the wall. Now, you'll want to use either a yoga strap here or perhaps a belt for a dressing gown or a bathrobe or even a scarf. Bend your knees and put the belt or whatever you're using around your legs, and then just tighten it so that you've got the belt or the tie or the strap holding your thighs together so that you don't need to think about keeping your legs together when you're in this position. The idea being that in doing that, you can completely relax the lower back into the bolster. You can relax the pelvic area. You can really let go of those hip flexes. So first of all, this position is a fantastic position anyway, at any point during the day, even separate to any kind of yoga practice, because inverting the legs like this helps calm the nervous system. Also can really help relieve swollen legs, which of course can be really common during pregnancy. But we're also going to use this inverted position with our heads, the backs of our heads against the mat, both shoulder blades against the mat, back of the neck nice and long. We're going to use this position to help activate those pelvic floor muscles. So take a moment to just take a couple of breaths. Inhale and exhale. Hands can be on the belly or along the sides of the body. And then I want you to engage the anus muscles. So as if you're holding in a number 2, just engage those muscles. But as you engage those muscles, keep breathing. So we're not holding the breath. We're still inhaling and exhaling as we engage those muscles. Holding for maybe 3 or 4 breaths and then release and keep breathing. And then I want you to engage the muscles more towards the front of the pelvis, so as if you were holding in your pee. So again, inhale and then exhale, engage those muscles. You might feel it ever so slightly in the lower belly round where the bladder would be as well. But again, as you engage those muscles, you're still breathing. Just holding for a few breaths. And then release. And really try and feel and focus just as much on the engagement as on the release with each of these movements, because it's important that we develop not just a strong pelvic floor, but also a supple one. So let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, engage the anus muscles and keep breathing. And release. Notice the difference in the sensation between engagement and release as you breathe. Then inhale. Exhale, engage the muscles you'd engage to hold in your P. Keep breathing. And release. Again, noticing the difference in sensation when those muscles are engaged and when they're relaxed. And just stay here just for a few more breaths, just letting go. Perhaps feeling that nice release in the lumbar spine as well. In this pose, we're also taking the pressure off the pelvis and the lower belly. And then slowly, when you're ready, bending the knees, taking the strap or the scarf or belt away from the legs, and then slowly and carefully rolling onto your side and coming up. Great job, really nice. That's a move that will get easier with time. The first time it can maybe be a little bit challenging to actually find those muscles, but don't worry, it will come. Persevere with it and you will feel the benefits. So now let's do a little bit of work to strengthen the pelvic floor. So take a block, and what we're going to do now is place our feet, soles down on the floor, knees are bent. Slowly lower yourself down onto your back without engaging the abdominals. We want to avoid that during pregnancy. And then bring the feet closer towards the buttocks so that you can just about graze the heels with your fingertips. Then take the block and you can put it between the thighs, either on the narrower or the wider setting, whatever feels better for you. I've got it on the wider one today. So place that block between the thighs, sort of in the middle of the thighs, not too close to the pelvis. Press the feet into the floor, hands, backs of the arms into the floor as well. Both shoulders connected to the floor, back of the neck long. Inhale. Exhale, imprint the lower back into the floor. Really feel that back to mat connection. And then on the inhale, tuck the tailbone under and use the strength of the glutes to raise the hips up. And as you do that, squeeze the block between the thighs. Exhale, slowly roll down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Let's do that again. Inhale, tuck the tailbone under, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the block between the thighs. Lift the hips, pressing the feet into the floor. Just hold here a moment, squeezing that block. And then exhale, slowly lowering down. And again, we inhale, tuck the tailbone under, engage the glutes, lift the hips, focusing on squeezing that block between the thighs. As we strengthen the inner thighs, we equally strengthen that pelvic floor as well. And then on the exhale, slowly lowering down. Let's do that once more for luck. Strong move, you're doing great. Inhale, tuck the tailbone under. Use the glutes to lift the hips, squeezing the block between the thighs. Remembering to breathe. Holding here. And then slowly lowering down on the exhale. Great job. Really, really nice. Remove the block. And just take a moment, imprinting the lower back into the mat. Check how you feel. and then rolling onto the side to slowly come up. Again, we always come up rolling onto the side because we don't want to be engaging our abdominals during pregnancy. It's something that we do want to avoid. Let's take ourselves over to the wall. We're using the block again. So again, another position here to help with strengthening the pelvic floor. So this time, place the block between the thighs again and step the feet a little bit away from the wall while keeping the whole back connected to the wall. So you should feel the glutes and the entire back against the wall. You might not feel a small part of the curve of the back. That's okay. Feet are roughly hip width apart, and you're going to inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, just lower down a few inches, squeezing the block between the thighs. No need to go too low here. Option to raise the arms overhead, making sure the shoulder blades stay against the wall, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Really great. Squeeze that block. And then inhale to come up. Let's do that again. Exhale, bend the knees and lower, raise the arms overhead. Keeping that block squeezed between the thighs. Keeping the breath going. And inhale, come up, lower the arms. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, lower the buttocks, bending the knees, raise the arms, keeping that block squeezed between the thighs. Trying to keep the belly soft even as you engage those inner thighs. You might feel a bit of work in the glutes as well. And then slowly coming up. Really, really nice. Strong work. Well done for sticking with it. Then let's take 2 blocks this time and come into triangle pose. So here you've got your feet apart, raise both arms just to check that the ankles are roughly I say, where your wrists would be. Then you're going to lift the right heel, pivot on the ball of the foot so that the right foot faces towards the right. Bend the knees and place the blocks to the outside of the right foot. And then from here, come back up. Both legs are straight. Both glutes are against the wall. And you've got both shoulder blades against the wall as well. And making sure too that the left heel is in contact with the wall. I've got to be careful I don't switch the light off, so I might not have my left arm against the wall, but you can do that with yours. So you want to raise both arms to shoulder height. Again, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Tuck the tailbone under, shoulder blades against the wall. Inhale, reach the right arm towards the right and then place it on the blocks and stretch the left hand towards the sky. So starting from the feet, both feet firmly planted, lift through the arches. Externally rotate the inner thighs. So here the engagement in these thighs is helping to strengthen the pelvic floor. Glutes engaged, both pressed against the wall, both shoulder blades against the wall. So we're also getting an opening through the heart space, improving the quality of our breath and a nice stretch through the left side of the body without collapsing onto the right side, keeping that right side lifted. Really nice, keeping the breath going. And exhale, look down towards the blocks, press the floor with the feet, bend the knees, inhale, come up. Great, great job. Come on to the other side. So same thing here for the setup. We've got the distance between our legs, then we lift the left heel, pivot on the ball of the left foot, so the left foot faces towards the left. And this time placing the blocks to the outside of the left foot. Coming back to standing, checking that right heel is against the wall. tucking the tailbone under, both glutes against the wall, both shoulders against the wall, growing tall, legs are straight. Inhale, reach towards the left. Exhale, place the left hand on the blocks, reach the right arm towards the sky. So both arms should be in one straight line. Again, both feet firmly planted. Focus on externally rotating those inner thighs and engaging the glutes. So we're strengthening through the pelvic floor. Keeping both glutes, both shoulders against the wall. Allowing the breath to soften and fill the belly. Firm and strong in the lower body, and yet light and soft through the upper body. Creating strength, creating space. Exhale, look down at the blocks. Inhale, press the floor away with the feet and come back up. Lovely. So I'm just going to move the blocks in case they fall over in the next move, and we're going to be doing tree pose. So for this, the heels can be slightly away from the wall. That might be more comfortable. Let's come onto the right foot first. So really lift all 5 toes and place them back down to make sure you've got the weight evenly spread through the foot. Then you're going to take the left foot and place the sole of the left foot either against the ankle, so the toes are still on the floor. That's really great. Or you can lift it a little and place it on the shin. Do not place the foot against the knee because we've got ligaments there that we don't want to injure by putting the pressure of the foot against them. If you're feeling really strong and flexible, you can place the foot to the inside of the thigh, but in pregnancy, I would say it's just not necessary. It's a practice I had before pregnancy. I'm perfectly happy now to place the foot against the shin. So placing the foot against the shin, tuck the tailbone under. Both glutes in contact with the wall, you know what's coming, both shoulders in contact with the wall, and place the palms of the hand together. Now, to keep your balance, of course, you've got the wall for support, but also push the sole of the left foot into the shin into the foot. So you've got those opposing forces. Engage the glutes, lift up through the pelvic floor, grow through the crown of the head. Find a spot that isn't moving and just gaze towards it, soft gaze, softening the jaw, the space between the eyebrows, and just breathe. And then release. Crazy how much hard work that can actually be, even with just putting the foot on the shin. And then again, onto the other side, coming onto the left foot, making sure you're spreading the toes so that weight is evenly spread, lifting through the arch of the foot, and then placing the sole of the right foot in the same place you placed it on the other side. Just moving away from the light. So press the foot into the shin into the foot. Both glutes are against the wall, both shoulders, same thing. Hands together at heart center, growing through the crown of the head. And again, really trying to find lift and lightness here, so not collapsing into that left leg. Just really lifting up, using the strength of the pelvic floor, the glutes, pushing the foot into the floor. So we're grounding into the floor and at the same time growing through the crown of the head. Breathing here. Balancing poses are great to improve concentration and focus as well. And tree pose is a fantastic one to balance the energy on both sides of the body. Exhale, come back out. Give the legs a shake. And if you ever fall out of that pose, perfectly normal, nothing to judge yourself for. Just come back into it. No big deal at all. And then Let's move to our final standing pose against the wall. So here we want the legs a little bit wider than we had them for tree pose. Again, you can check this time really that the ankles are properly below the wrists. Same thing in terms of lifting the right heel, pivoting the right foot to the right. Again, the left heel is against the wall, and with this pose, we're more giving the pelvic floor a little bit of a stretch rather than a strengthen. So lifting the arms, again, both glutes against the wall, both shoulders against the wall, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, bend the right knee, gently place the right forearm on the right thigh, and then bring the left arm up so that it's diagonal in line with the left leg, left palm facing down, looking towards that left palm. Aiming to track the right knee towards the right little toe, but we don't want to open the thigh too much. You don't want to feel any strain or strong stretch through that right inner thigh, just a gentle one. Of course, we're opening through the left side of the body as well, finding space in the stomach and the heart center, keeping that left shoulder blade against the wall, trying to keep the right one, mine came away there, trying to keep the right one against the wall too, and both glutes against the wall, the whole of the back of the left leg against the wall. Exhale, look down at the right foot. Inhale, coming up slowly. Let's move on to the other side. So this time, lifting the left heel, pivoting on the ball of the left foot. So the left foot is facing to the left. And again, we get our foundations right. We start with the integrity of the posture. So you've got both glutes against the wall, both shoulder blades against the wall. Grow tall. At this point, both legs are straight. Inhale, exhale, bend that left knee this time. Gently place the left forearm on the left thigh and bringing the right arm over this time. So the right palm is facing down. You've got both shoulder blades against the wall. Right heel pressed against the wall, that right leg is straight. Keeping the outer edge of the right foot on the floor. Tracking the left knee towards the left little toe. Again, we want a gentle stretch through the inner thighs, nothing too intense. Glutes engaged, both of them against the wall. Opening through the right side this time. Keeping the breathing steady. By the way, if in any pose you can't breathe freely and easily, if the breathing becomes labored, come straight out of it. Exhale, look down at the left foot. Inhale to come up. Really, really good. We did some strong work there. So well done for sticking with it. We're now coming onto the floor. So moving into the slightly more relaxing part of the sequence. So coming up onto both knees, we're going to do another little stretching move for the pelvic floor here. So your knees are directly below the hips, and you're going to start by putting the left leg out to the side. So the sole of the foot is against the floor. Check that the leg is just really straight and in line with the side of your body here as well. Both hips facing forward. Tuck the tailbone under, engage the glutes, roll the shoulders down and back. The hand can either be resting on the thigh. That is probably best to give you space to move. Inhale, float the right arm up. And then exhale, just a little gentle reach towards the left, nothing too much. We do not want to be overstretching any of the abdominal muscles during pregnancy. Here we're opening through the right side. Keep the glutes engaged, pushing the hips ever so slightly forward. dropping that right shoulder away from the ear, and just keeping both hips and both boobs facing forward as well. If anything, just slightly opening out towards the right, so we're not collapsing in like this, we're keeping lifted. Keep the breathing going, feeling perhaps a little stretch through that left inner thigh, again stretching through the pelvic floor here, nothing too intense though. And exhale, release. Really great. Come onto the other side, stretching that right foot out this time, and again making sure that the knee's directly below this hip, so you should have a straight line here. Check the leg is in line, not too far forward or too far back. Whole sole of the foot against the floor. Roll the shoulders down and back, engage the glutes, push the hips slightly forward. Inhale, float the left arm up. Exhale, reaching towards the right. Again, taking care to not collapse forward in any strange way, but just keeping open in that chest. This time feeling perhaps a bit of a stretch through the right inner thigh. Dropping the left shoulder away from the ear. This pose, as well as stretching the pelvic floor, can help just release some of that rigidity that we might get down the sides of the abdomen during pregnancy. Just really finding length in the left side of the body, keeping the glutes engaged. Really great, slowing down that breath. And exhale, release, coming onto both knees. Just sit on the knees for a moment, notice any changes in the body that might have happened through the sequence that we've done so far, any changes in the breath. Really great work. And then let's come onto our bolsters. So we're going to come into a supported hero pose here. Now, there are a few options, so bear with me because it is important to get the right option for you. You can either use two bolsters, so you would place one on a lower setting of a brick and then place the other one on top, leaving space, which is where your bum would be here. I'm going to place another bolster under, another block, under that top bolster. It can be a little fiddly at first, but it will be worth it if you get the right position in this hero pose. Let's move forward a little bit. So when you're here, you want to sit onto this bolster. Put a blanket down for your knees, because our knees can be a little bit sensitive and sore during pregnancy. And then you're going to sit onto that bolster so that your lower back is properly supported against the upper bolster. What this pose will do is help improve the circulation in your feet and legs. It also gives a nice stretch to the pelvic area, opens through the whole front of the body. Now, slowly lean back onto that top bolster. I will say that this option is not comfortable for me because my belly's not quite big enough, so it's actually stretching my belly too much. So I'm going to show you the example of when not to go into a pose if it doesn't feel right. If it does feel right, lean all the way back, and that should feel lovely through the front of the body. You can also place a blanket under your head. That doesn't feel good for me, so I'm not going to take that option. So the option you can take, if that does not feel good for you, is to use one bolster. And in this position, exactly the same, except that you've got your bum on the floor, so your legs will be slightly further apart. And then you're going to lean all the way back onto this one bolster. Now, Again, example of not doing something if it doesn't feel right. There's some days that I do this and it feels fantastic. Today, I'm already feeling that just getting to here is starting to pull on my knees a little bit, not comfortable. So I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'm going to just stretch my legs straight out. So if that felt comfortable on your knees, by all means, lean all the way back onto the bolster, get that lovely opening through the front of the body, compression in the legs, stretch through the pelvic floor. If, like me, that just didn't feel good today, stretch your feet straight out and lower yourself onto the bolster. Okay, that feels lush. So there we go. I'm staying in this position. I'm still getting a relaxation through that pelvic area, not the same stretch that I would have had in the other two positions, but that is fine. And I'm getting that opening in the front body, in the heart space, and just getting a moment to rest. Nice and comfy on the blanket as well. Lower back really nicely supported by the bolster. And this is the thing with the physical yoga practice. Every day is different. There are days that I come into that supported hero on my knees and it just feels perfect. Everything falls into place, everything opens nicely. There are other days like today where even before I got into the full expression, I could feel that tugging in my knees and I just thought no. And that's what you've got to do. You don't just watch what someone else is doing, get into the pose without respecting your own body and considering what feels good for you today, because it changes every day and that's fine. In whatever version of the hero you're in, just slowing down the breath. If you're on your knees, your bum should naturally be sat on your ankles. The ankles should be wider than the buttocks. The buttocks should be, of course, in contact with the bolster or the floor. And just stay there as long as feels good, but we don't need to hold this pose for too long. So let's start to slowly and carefully move out of whatever version we're in. In my version, I'm bending the knees, rolling onto one side slowly, and then coming up. Great work. We're coming into the final relaxation here. So you need one bolster and you can leave it as it is there. Remove the top one if that's what you've got. You need ideally 4 blocks, but you can also have 2 blocks and 2 cushions. What I'm going to do so I can liberate this block is just place my second bolster underneath it. You might want to do the same if you've got 2 bolsters. And from here, we're coming into a supported butterfly leg pose. So bring the soles of the feet together. I'm just showing you the foot position here. You'll actually be lying back on the bolsters. And what you want to do with your strap is place it around the outside of the feet. So here I'm just showing you what you're doing with the feet and the strap. We're going to actually do this with the bolsters. So like with the hero pose we just did, get your lower back in contact with the bolster, place the soles of the feet together, and then bring the strap around the outside of the feet. And then you want to get enough space with the strap to be able to bring your body into it. So it comes round your body, your arms come through, and it's going to rest on your lower back. You then tighten the strap so that it's tight enough to be able to actually hold your feet together without you engaging any muscles to hold the soles of the feet together, because we want to completely relax here. Place your knees on the blocks, either on the higher or the lower setting, whatever works for you. The other two blocks will be round about where your arms will be. You can cover your feet with a blanket, lovely for relaxation. And then really slowly lowering yourself down onto the top bolster, making yourself comfortable, placing your forearms on two blocks or pillows, making sure you're long through the back of the neck. Big inhale and exhale. You've got nothing to do here but lie back and relax. Softening the space between the eyebrows, keeping the eyes closed, relaxing the tongue in the mouth, letting the jaw go, relaxing the shoulders. Feeling the inhale gently fill the belly, and feeling that belly gently drop back with every exhale. Relaxing through the hips, the inner thighs, the legs, the feet. Feeling the back heavy along the bolster. Knowing that you're supported and safe. And knowing that in this relaxation pose, you're allowing your body in this state of rest to really absorb and assimilate all the benefits of the physical practice we've just done. Thanking yourself, your body, and your baby for supporting you through the practice today. And with every inhale, sending positive energy to your baby. With every exhale, letting go of anything you don't need right now. Maybe with every breath, imagining that breath rocking your baby in the belly. Feeling thankful for the amazing things your body's going through right now. And knowing that it's capable and ready for everything that's coming in the next few months. Really slowly start to maybe find some movement in the fingers. And then using the hands to help you, gently moving the legs to bring the thighs back together, perhaps detaching from the strap first, just moving really slowly, no rush at all. And when you're ready, keeping the breath steady, even using it to help you, rolling onto one side and slowly coming to a seated position. Legs crossed, pulling the fleshy parts of the buttocks away from the sit bones, hands on the thighs, rolling the shoulders down and back. Big inhale, exhale through the mouth. Bring the hands together at heart center in prayer position. And together we inhale to Om. Keeping the eyes closed, lifting the thumbs to the third eye. Open mind, thumbs to the lips, truthful words. Thumbs to the heart center, love to all. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. See you soon.